This is our film pitch. The film name we've chose or decided to work with at the minute is Psychosis, and the tagline, brutal things please twisted minds. The idea, the genre is a psychological thriller / horror. The whole story revolves around a new student who's Tom, and a group of students who are played by me and Brett start bullying him and noticing the fact that he's not like any of the others and he doesn't really fit in with anybody else. But they don't know that he's mentally unstable and a bit of a psychopath, and he's now prepared to make their life hell. The trailer shows that the group are warned of Tom's strange actions and his activities and stuff, but by the time they've been made aware of it, it's too late and Tom's already planning his vengeance. The film continues with Tom constantly torturing me and Brett mentally and physically, and Brett ends up dying at the end. We looked at the genre and what sort of things we're going to have to include to make it belong to the genre. As I say, we've chose psychological thriller / horror. We've got the typical characters with me and Brett, Jack and Sean, being the victims, and Tom playing himself, being the aggressor. Typical of the psychological thriller genre, there are very quick, snappy shots, along with non-diegetic sounds coinciding with action on screen for a bigger impact, which we've seen in The Sixth Sense and Secret Window. We're also going to use lighting effects with a mixture of light and dark ones, because it can give off shadows and stuff, and it can show off inner secrets and darknesses to characters. In terms of locations, we've gone for quite typically horror ones, like a forest and stuff like that. And we've also found an abandoned house at Chasewater, because that will obviously give it a more eerie feel to it and stuff.
As Sam said, with the locations, we've gone for ones that are typical of the horror genre. We've gone with forests and abandoned houses that can make people feel basically scared when they're watching the film, and we've used a house and a school as well, where the audience can relate to the character and the surroundings. School, this is where the beginning of the film takes place, with the bullying of Tom, and where we start noticing his strange behaviour. The bees are staying in the forest. This is a typical convention of the horror genre. It's where the majority of the torturing will take place. My house is one of the, and the forest opposite is one of the key shots where we see Tom stalking me and Sam, and you can see that he's kind of obsessed and he's taking it to a personal level. Chasewater, this is abandoned house in Chasewater which we found, where we can use the torturing, so it looks like that either he lived there or that's where he takes people where he wants to torture them. And Biddle's Pool, there's a potential location where we could film the fatality at the end. Could be drowning or maybe a hanging as well.
This is my character, and is represented as a recluse and a geek, but later in the film it switches and he's a dangerous psychopath. The character we're representing by showing the other two characters bullying him and showing that he doesn't fit in, but later he switches and it's shown through dialogue and a cutscene of the character self-harming. This is the other two characters. They're the cool kids, and are all popular around the school, and they're bullies. They bully my character, and they're represented as the ones in power because they're bullying me. But when the roles reverse, it's them getting bullied.
The audience is a key part to make our film effective. Who teenagers and young adults aged around 15 to 30 seem to notice that quite a few people of this age tend to look for the horror genre so they can feel a sense of scaring themselves. Both genders, although males may have more of an interesting connection, this is because mainly the characters are all males. How we target them? Through the main characters being stereotypical teenagers. They act how stereotypical teenagers would act nowadays, and bullying and stuff like that, maybe people can relate to that as well. Elements of school and everyday life that the audience can understand and relate to. These are school pupils, so people who are going to watch a film 15 to 30, the majority will be in school already.
Yeah, in terms of institutions, we felt that it would be a small independent institution or a typical low budget one that would distribute our film, like Optimum Releasing, Film 4 or BBC Films, like similar to This Is England and Shifty. Mainly because films like Optimum Releasing and BBC Films, they're low budget films and they're British like ours will be, and they've actually made them really successful, like because This Is England's like gone on to make a TV series and stuff, so it's obviously been promoted really, really well. And it's now become a film that everyone's heard of if they've not seen it, so I felt that would be a decent institution to choose.
Next couple of slides is our storyboard, and under each shot, under each picture there's a bit of an explanation. It's a linear narrative.
These are the first 6 shots of our trailer. First one, we see Tom walking down the corridor at first, insight into the bullying that occurs where me and Sam trip Tom over. Tom's, as you can see, falls to the floor. She's got a picture of Tom looking back at us as he's been tripped over. The non-diegetic sound of like maybe a bass drum or something like that when he hits the floor. And then we see another sign of bullying where I throw a tennis ball at Tom, just singling him out, and manage to hit him off the back of the head. And then we see me and Sam laughing at him just to make him feel a bit more left out and a bit silly.
Yeah, we decided, because of the convention being flashes and like really quick moving images, that this one of Tom looking in the mirror would be a good one. And the shot where it sees himself, we were maybe going to alter it or do something so the reflection was doing something. So yeah, that was going to be a quick one where it shows that the character may start to be changing. Then the next shot there is me, Sean, my character, telling Jack, Brett's character, that we should stop bullying him because he's doing strange things. And as we said that, with the sound of that still going on, we move into the next shot of Tom screaming and shouting and punching walls and stuff. Because we found that a typical convention of the trailers was that the sound of a dialogue or something from the previous clip would play underneath another clip, another image or something going on, so we thought we'd include that. After we have that flash of Tom doing that, we then have another flash of Tom's face just coming up on the screen. And then we move on to this next bit where Brett said before, where the story starts to change, where Tom's character watches Jack leave the house, and then the production company comes on screen after that.